messenger of God. You're doomed if you stay here.
Ralph, you're no messenger of God. You were raiding the food cabinet. Come on now. Don't lie. Happy Friday the 13th, y'all, and welcome back to another Slap Reaction. Now, I say happy Friday the 13th because we've all survived a lot of life experiences, and that is something to celebrate. Now, when I found out that Friday the 13th landed on this month, I realized I have to go back and revisit one of my favorite films of all time. 1980's Friday the 13th. Ta-da! Because, you know, sometimes it's nice to revisit one of these, like an old friend, full of blood and guts and violence. But you know what horror movies have been to me, and probably to many of you? I consider them survival films. They taught me at a very young age that danger can lurk anywhere. So what to do, what not to do, you get it. So I'm really excited to be revisiting this film for this month's Friday the 13th. Even though it's a reaction video, not a first time watch. But we're going to have a good time. Alright, let's get to 1980's Friday the 13th. When I eventually got to see this film, that scene with the kids in the cabin, that was kind of scary. I didn't want anything happening to those kids. I remember watching the trailer when I was really young and wanting to see it so bad, but I couldn't find anybody to take me to go see it. And I would act out the trailer scenes, like when Kevin Bacon has a hand go over his head, or pretend I'm Jason drowning in the pool. Yeah, that was me as a kid. This is such a morbid song to start it off, and perfect for the film.
Does Marianne kiss as big as I do?
How would I?
Oh, you.
I think it would be fun to get a yellow camp counselor shirt, if I could find one.
We weren't doing anything, we were just messing up.
I don't know, maybe it's because I'm older, but I just feel it's so tragic to see these young people get killed. I think before of it, I just saw it as a movie, but now it's like, Love the glass shattering. We know we're in for some bad luck. T&I casting. I heard that these actors were theater actors, mostly. That is so picturesque. See, when I think of New Jersey, this is what I imagine from Friday the 13th. So when I hear people knock down New Jersey all the time, like, what are you talking about? It looks so nice and peaceful and I don't know. Doggy.
Girl, how far is it to Camp Crystal Lake? That far, huh? Okie dokie.
And he's so cheerful.
Excuse me, how far is Camp Crystal Lake from here?
But that diner sells everything. Cigarettes, books, chips.
Okay, kid, let's move it.
Name's Annie.
All right, Annie, let's go.
I don't know.
You're going to Camp Blood, ain't you?
Ralph.
You're gone, get! Leave people alone!
I think most of us that are fans of Friday the 13th love Ralph.
It's got a death curse.
Come on, climb up, miss.
Awkward silence.
Did Christy tell you about the 2 kids murdered in 58? Huh?
She doesn't even care.
A bunch of fires? Nobody knows who did any of them. In 1962, they was gonna open up. The water was bad.
So there's a place in New Jersey called Hope, where the cemetery is.
Sex all you ever think about,
Hey,
Ed?
no, absolutely not. Ha! Sometimes I just think about kissing women.
I think these actors had a lot of fun doing this film. I've never been to camp, but I've never been one to follow rules either, so I don't know if I would have fit in, but I would have loved the sports.
I want to get this tree stump out. Get on this side, you pull it on that side, and I'll fly it on tree, okay? Alice!
So the actual camp this was filmed at, in real life it's called Nobi Bosco in Blairstown, New Jersey. I might be massacring that name, but I hear it still looks pretty much the same as it does in the movie. And they actually hold events of some sort where you can stay in the cabins for a night or a weekend or something like that. That would be really cool. If any of you have ever done that, let me know in the comments. I'm really curious about what that was like.
Thanks, Alice.
This is a really strange relationship. I'm not really sure of the dynamics of it.
Alice, the others show up?
Yeah, everybody except that girl who's supposed to handle the kitchen, Annie.
You think you're gonna last all summer?
I don't know if I'm gonna last all week.
I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but you can kind of tell that Bill might be into her. But she's leaving, so she's like, I can't go there.
It's supposed to rain like hell, so get as much done as possible. I don't want to get too far behind.
You neglected to mention that downtown they call this place Camp Blood. Ta-da!
I can't get over the scenery. I want to go camping there.
But when you've had a dream as long as I have, you'll do anything.
Annie, you don't find it weird that the person in the vehicle is not talking to you? This part where the vehicle just passes the road to Camp Crystal Lake and keeps going, that's scary because you can actually picture that happening in real life. I think that's what's so tragic about this. What's happening to Annie is because we all like Annie, and she's the first one in danger. This group really interacts very realistically with one another.
Hey!
What I love about this first Friday the 13th film is that it's a mystery. You don't know who the killer is or why they're killing.
What's the matter? You see something?
I love this. The first moment of awareness that something could be wrong.
Oh! Oh! Something's wrong with Ned.
Come on, then.
Hurry up, hurry up.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Oh, Nettie! Oh,
Ned! I'm not going to look at this scene because you all probably know by now that I'm a big fan of animals, and that was really messed up what they did to that snake in real life. And my understanding is that this was someone's actual pet, and they had no idea that they were going to do this to it in the film. I can hear it. Ugh. I wasn't looking, so I hope it wasn't the actor Harry Crosby who plays Bill that actually killed the snake in real life. I hope it was Tom Savini, asshole. Or Ned, that would have been embarrassing whether there was a cop around or not. I mean,
Yeah, right.
even back then.
We ain't gonna stand for no weirdness out here.
I feel like they should have brought this cop back for part 2.
I'm a messenger of God. You're doomed if you stay here.
Ralph, you're no messenger of God. You were raiding the food cabinet. Come on now. Don't lie.
Cursed. You're doomed. You're all doomed.
The sun is starting to go down.
Steve taught me how to use the emergency generator. Town power lines are supposed to be real lousy.
God, don't you love that macho talk? Emergency generator.
Poor Ned, he's got no game.
You really think he's gonna be bent out of shape?
I don't know.
For the most part, this is very realistic dialogue among the characters. Badgers in the water? There always has to be that one person that feels out of place.
Can I help you?
This music is classic.
What about Ned?
I don't love Ned.
He keeps acting like such a jerk. And then the rain turns to blood. And the blood washes away in little rivers.
Very prophetic. I love this progression of the day. We start off very cheerful, sun is out and bright, birds chirping, and then little by little the sun starts to go down, the wind starts to pick up, and now we're getting in a storm. It's just amazing, and to see this whole landscape just change, it's pretty cool. I really wonder how Jack and Marcy both decided to be camp counselors, and like why? Because they're from the city, right? I can't imagine any other reason to be a camp counselor than to hook up with other camp counselors during the summer. Definitely not for the money.
Jack and Marcy are gonna get drenched.
Not if they're where I think they are.
Bill knows.
I know what we can do. We're going to play Monopoly.
I hate Monopoly.
Not the way
Monopoly
I play
is
it.
kind of boring.
What? We're going to play strip Monopoly.
Wow, this scene is a lot longer than I remembered it. That is so crazy to think that you're, you know, and there's someone dead above you. Yikes.
I'm not gonna pass go without a glow.
See, that's what bothers me when people try to say there's certain rules that slasher flicks follow, because that's bull. You know, in Halloween and Friday the 13th, we have the final girl smoking joints, and then in part 2 of Friday the 13th, we have the final girl being the first one to get it on with someone, and she survives. So I think that was added later in the slasher flick genre, but it didn't start out that way. Just saying.
No one ever lands on Baltic Avenue.
I think it's a pretty color.
I really love this interaction with the characters. We don't really see a lot of that in today's films. I think it helps us to care more about them. As I mentioned earlier, this is one of my favorite scenes. Whoa! That still managed to get me. And I've seen this so many times.
When I looked into that mirror, I knew I'd always be ugly. I said, Lizzie, you'll always be plain.
I've always wondered where that was from. You know what? I'm going to look it up right now. Okay, so she was imitating Katharine Hepburn from the 1956 film The Rainmaker. I never knew that.
Ollie and free.
They really take the time to let us get to know these characters and like them, and we don't want to see them get got.
Must be my imagination.
Ah, poor Marcy.
Get the money. Oh, God. It's blowing like crazy out there.
Oh, I think I left the windows in my cabin open.
Oh, that's bad.
We're going to have to finish this game some other night. Just when it was getting interesting.
I love how she doesn't get dressed. She just puts on the raincoat and leaves. Now this is a different diner. I've never noticed that before. I always thought it was the same diner from earlier.
Anything else you want? You can't go back out there in that rain.
Where else is he gonna stay?
Well, what do I owe you?
Just a night on the town.
Come on.
I think she has hopes of being a camp counselor too.
Keep it, Sandy.
Thank you.
Sure.
I wonder why we don't wear raincoats anymore. I don't think I know anyone that owns one. I love these little moments these characters take because something feels off.
Can you give me a lift? I'll have one of my coaches bring me back in the morning. Why not?
Well, nothing associated with that camp seems to work well. Now it's Christie's Jeep. Maybe it's because it is Friday the 13th. That's actually a thought that unsettles me. Somebody watching you through the window. That is so weird to me, reading by candlelight, because candles don't really give off that much light. This score is absolutely amazing. One of the best scores of horror films of all time. That, and with the added sound effects in the background. I wonder if she got hazard pay for doing this scene in the rain. At this point, we feel so bad for Brenda because we just see her backing up to that Target stand.
I'm gonna check it out.
Bill? Can I come?
Come on then.
Power numbers. Now see, this killer is an artiste, and the reason I say that is because they take the time to be so creative with their kills and set all this up. That's dedication.
Bill, I think we should call someone.
I wonder if this film was shot in sequence. I almost feel like it had to have been.
It's dead. Try the payphone.
Do you have a gun recorder?
I think my favorite raincoat so far is Bill's. It's just so roomy. See, walking down a rural road in pitch blackness, I may not be worried about a killer on the loose, but I'd be terrified of some wild animal being very, very hungry. You know what I mean?
Why don't you stay here and try and get some sleep?
You know, I once watched Agatha Christie's murder mystery, And Then There Were None, from 1945, I believe, and it reminded me so much of Friday the 13th. Now, I've been hearing that people have been comparing the two films together. So I wonder if that was ever considered an and inspiration, at least partially, for making this film. Damn! That shocked me a little bit. Belle! I remember those gas stoves. They always scared the hell out of me. Ew, instant coffee. I'm drinking coffee right now, but rest assured, it's not instant. I wonder if this Boy Scout camp that they're filming at were actually told what kind of film they were making there. Probably not. But it's nice to know that they embrace it now. Not a good sign, Alice. That is so badass. Alright, let's get the whole orchestra going. Ching, 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 ching. Now when I hear this, I keep expecting Bruce the Shark to pop up. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. I wonder how much improv Adrian King had to do. Or was this carefully rehearsed before filming? You know what I mean? Because that would like have to be a bitch to redo that over and over again. All of that.
What am I gonna do?
See, was that intentional or was that an accident? The raincoat getting caught.
How are you?
Well, I'm Mrs. Voorhees, an old friend of the Christies.
See, I felt for this too. The first time I watched this, like, someone came to save us. Alice and I. I was wrong.
You see, Jason was my son, and today is his birthday.
Betsy Palmer is just amazing. I love this woman.
Oh, my sweet, innocent Jason.
And you feel so sorry for her. That was so messed up that the counselors weren't paying attention to Jason. I don't blame her. I would be pissed too. Well, I mean, I wouldn't go around killing anybody, but you know. See, I know that Betsy Palmer was known for being more of an ingenue back in the day. I've never seen any of her earlier stuff, so I'm looking at her here, and she's a badass. So to me, this is how I see Betsy Palmer, as a pretty strong individual. I just realized I'm crossing my arms. This film still has much suspense in it, decades later, and after many rewatches. See, by now I feel like we should be past trying to hide, because that doesn't seem to work. We should be planning a trap to kill the killer. Still, there are a lot of nice little moments, like the handle starting to turn out of nowhere. Betsy Palmer just goes for it, like whoosh, whoosh, bang. Interesting choice to hit the beach and not find yourself the main road out of there. Pamela Voorhees is tough. We now know it's over because of the gentle music. But I've seen this before, so I know better. Bam.
Jason?
In the lake, the one who attacked me, the one who pulled me underneath the water.
Ma'am, we didn't find any boy.
Well, we actually got a whole franchise out of this, so I guess there really is a Jason. Alright, well, that was Friday the 13th, so let's discuss. So, yeah, we just revisited Friday the 13th for Friday the 13th. I really like this film and revisiting it from time to time, and I hope you enjoyed revisiting it with me. Now, it never made sense to me, like, how there's a Jason running around loose in part 2, because, like, if he didn't die, why didn't he just go look for his mom? Like, why did he stay there? They never answered that question in any of the films. Probably because there's no way to answer it. It just doesn't make sense. But hey, if we suspend disbelief, then we get Jason out of it and a whole new franchise and a hockey mask to go with it eventually. So what are my takeaways from it? Well, I really love, again, the interaction with the characters and us getting to know them and care what happens to them. We don't see that very often today. It just seems very natural the way they talked and communicated with one another. Also, that this was sort of a mystery. We didn't know who the killer was until the very end. And it turned out to be a pretty badass killer, right? And a female killer at that. I don't really know what else to say about this film except that I was just here for a good time and I couldn't think of any better way to celebrate Friday the 13th. So what rating am I going to give this? And you can probably guess I'm going to give it a pretty high rating, right? Because it's one of my favorite films. Now I base this not on technical stuff, not on acting and directing and blah 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 blah. I rate these films by how much it entertains me and will I revisit. So for Friday the 13th, this one, I am going to say, well, if I have to compare it to the other films in the franchise. Alright, so I'm going to say from a rating of 1 through 5 squeals, I'm going to give it and we know this pig doesn't do half stars. So 4.5. That's my rating, and that's that. Thank you guys for joining me this Friday the 13th. And I hope to see you next time. I'm not sure what the next film is. I don't really plan these things very well. But yeah, it's going to be most likely a first-time watch again. We only did this one because it's Friday the 13th. And so sometimes, like I said before, it's good to revisit an old favorite. So thank you again for being here, and I'll see you next time.